What is going on, people? We are Tottenham TV. I'm hoping you can all hear us now. Sorry for the delay. We've had some serious technical issues in the studio today. But look, better late than never. That's what
Absolutely.
I say. I'm honoured to be joined by Rez from Shelfside Spurs. How are we doing today, Rez?
Very well, very well. Pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, I'm glad you're in the studio. But look, we're live now. We're here. Everyone can calm down. I'm sorry about all the technical difficulties. But look, we do have a game this weekend. Tottenham play Aston Villa at Villa Park in what is an absolutely crucial game in the top four race. Obviously, Aston Villa on the back of three straight defeats. They're not in the best form. Tottenham go into this having won 6 of their last 8 games, scoring goals for fun. How are you feeling going to the game on the weekend, Rez?
Yeah, pretty good. Under normal circumstances, I'd be quite confident, given that we have quite a good record at Villa Park.
We do.
But obviously things can change. We've got Dr. Tottenham isn't quite dead yet. I think he's in intensive care. Hopefully going to be buried soon. But in the meantime, we've still got to make sure we don't go in there complacent and actually go out there and say, right, we have to win this. We have to earn this.
Yeah. Exactly. So Villa, obviously a very, very tough team in terms of personnel. But since Gerrard's come in, they've obviously been very up and down, haven't they? You can't quite put your finger on what Villa are going to turn up, can you? Because they've got serious talent: Coutinho, Danny Ings, Ollie Watkins, even in midfield, John McGinn, and they've got players who, some of them will probably get into our squad. But as a cohesive unit, I don't know, Gerrard, do you think Gerrard's kind of still figuring out the right balance of the team?
I think so. He's only been there a few months. It takes every manager time to sort of understand precisely, which players will fit where according to the tactics that he wants to employ. He hasn't changed significantly from Dean Smith's sort of basic setup, but it will take time. Right now, I think they're trying to work Ollie Watkins into sort of being their central focal point when they win the ball back from being out of possession, and stuff like that takes time. So yeah, I think this. I thought that they would. I thought that they would improve a lot faster given their transfer window, but I've been proven wrong, and they're still right now a little bit, as you say, uncohesive.
Yeah, they've it's difficult at the moment to know what to expect from Aston Villa, because they beat Southampton 4-0. They're looking like they're playing great football. The front three were linking up brilliantly, and then they played recently they played Arsenal. I thought they looked completely toothless throughout the game. Yeah. And Arsenal I know there was only 1-0, it wasn't like a drubbing, but it was kind of an easy day for Arsenal. They didn't have to do too much to win that game. But you're fearing a different Aston Villa is going to turn up tomorrow, because they are on the back of 3 straight defeats. So there's obviously going to be a reaction to that, isn't there? And you've always got to be wary when a team is on a run of defeats, because as much as they'll be low on confidence, they've also, one, they got to show reaction, and 2, they could spring a surprise in terms of how they set up, because they got to change things up because they're on a string of defeats. And then all of a sudden, you're not 100% sure how they're going to play. You're not 100% sure, are they going to play this player for this formation? Yep. Those elements are difficult to kind of quantify.
Absolutely. We can't say for certain what Villa are going to do because of, as you say, having a bad run of form. They're going to be hurting, and they're going to be in front of their own fans. So their crowd is likely to get on their backs if things don't do well, which can swing a game one way or the other. It might make them retreat into their shells, or it might make them come out firing. So we're going to have to wait and see. The key, though, I think, is how our team actually starts the game. If we start the way we started against Newcastle, that might give Villa confidence, and they say, well, hold on a minute, they're not as good as we might fear. And they might go for us. If we start the way we played the latter part of the Newcastle game, I honestly believe that they might crumble, because they will be low on confidence.
Yeah, and that is what we've got to make sure that we try to do from the first minute, I think, because, as you say, this Aston Villa side, as much as they got quality, they do seem to have a soft underbelly. And I think if you can get at them early with the aggression that we've been showing of late, I think that could lead to a very kind of if we can get them on the back foot early, even get an early goal or put them under pressure early, maybe the crowd starts getting on their back. Maybe they start to get a bit nervous and unsure of themselves. And with a team who aren't as maybe sure of themselves because of the results they've been getting, especially under, of late, a few wins, a few losses, but they don't seem 100% sure of the right way for them to play. So if we can kind of put them under pressure early and assert ourselves on the game, then I think that could be very, very positive. Do you think, though, going into this game, obviously Arsenal play before us. They play at 3, we're playing at 5:30. Do you think the players will have one eye on what the result are there, or do you think whatever happens, it shouldn't really affect us whether Arsenal do?
I think the best sort of most professional approach would be keep an eye on what's happening with Arsenal and what's happening in the rest of the league, but understand that whatever else happens, you've got to go out there and play your game. We've been notorious for sort of being in that position where if we play well, things will happen, and then we don't play well. It's happened so often in the past. The whole thing that we would hope for with Conte is that he's going to be changing that outlook, and that he's going to be drumming into our squad. You are decent players, you can play well, you can beat the majority of teams that you come across, and this is no different. Don't worry so much about what's happening with the rest. You go out there and play, and you can win. And I think that that's the attitude that they really, really need to take on board. Again, if they do the timid, tentative, what's going to happen next type thing, then it can give any team, not just Villa, any team an opportunity. Look what Newcastle did. They came along and they scored against us, and that woke us up. We shouldn't be in that position of needing the opposition to wake us up. We need to be awake from the opening whistle, from the first whistle. If we do that, I think we can hurt them very, very badly.
I agree, and obviously we are in great form at the moment. We, as I said, won 6 of the last 8 games. We scored 5 goals against Newcastle. We scored 5 against Everton. We scored 4 against Leeds. We got obviously 3 against West Ham as well. So in terms of the form we're in, a lot of people are saying obviously Tottenham are, you're never sure. Can you trust Tottenham? Do they have the consistency? But are they starting to earn that trust at the moment for you?
To an extent, I'm not as sort of pessimistic of the rest of the season as I was until recently. I still think that the squad depth is a major worry, and that we're only a couple of injuries away from being in a really bad position. But that said, I am more confident that they will go out there and actually perform than I was even as recently as the Wolves game. When Wolves scored their first goal against us, part of me thought, well, that should be the wake-up call, which never happened. But then, last game, when Newcastle scored, I didn't think to myself, that's it, it's over. It's like, let's see what happens. And then they delivered. So I'm sensing that there's an improvement in the overall resilience of our squad, but there's going to have to be other challenges to see whether or not that will actually come about.
Well, let's look at the form of both sides. Let's bring that on screen. If you see the past 5 games for each side. So look at that, 17 goals we've scored over the past 5 games. So we're really on very good goal-scoring form, conceding only 5 as well. Villa scored 9, conceded 5, but our away form is actually, well, if you include cup competitions, we've actually lost 3 of the last 5, right, which is a bit surprising. I didn't realise it was like that. But I think going into this game, we have to be confident that we can really hurt Aston Villa, because if we don't get the result that we're looking for in this game, all the doubts and all the, Tottenham being inconsistent, it starts coming to the fore again.
Absolutely.
And we have to make sure that we put that to bed, because everyone at the moment, as much as Tottenham are playing well, everyone's looking at Tottenham saying, look, they haven't been consistent all season. They're not gonna be, as much as their fixtures from now to the end of the season are favourable, they're not going to be able to keep that consistency of the way they're playing right now. So it's very, very important that we get this game won however we can. Do you see this game like Do you see it being a very tight game? Do you see it being a bit nippy, or do you think that we'll have space to play in this one?
The weird one is this one. This one I think relies on which Villa turn up. If you get an Aston Villa side that is questioning itself, that is sort of thinking, is this working? Is this going in the right direction? We may find a team that is a little bit brittle that can then be snapped quite easily. Whereas if a Villa turns up in which, say for instance, Steven Gerrard has employed whatever man management skills he has, and got these players riled up and ready, then it may well turn into quite a tough game because they will be going toe to toe with us. They're in front of their own fans. They're going to want to make a statement, and the things that we suffered up until recently when it comes to sort of being a little bit ineffective under pressure may rear their heads because you're never going to get a complete squad where there is no further work to be done. There's always going to be something that can go wrong and some minor regressions or mini regressions happening. I think tomorrow's result, Sunday's result is going to rely pretty much on the matchup of mentality within the two squads. Spurs will want to make a statement. Well, you would hope that Spurs will want to make a statement to say, right, we're firing now and we're coming for you. We're coming for top four. Villa, what they would want to say is, right, had 3 losses. We're putting that behind us now and we're going to get back on track. So it could go either way. It could be very bitty or it could just turn into another tonking, by Spurs. I don't see Villa having the capacity to give us a tonking. I honestly don't. But they could still beat us. It could go either way. But I'm still confident of a Spurs win.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because you've got the likes of Philippe Coutinho, who a lot of Spurs fans wanted Spurs to go for in January. But I think he's kind of reverted to the Philippe Coutinho we all know he is, which is brilliant some games, but anonymous a lot of other games. But you never know. In this kind of game, he's the kind of player who just has the ability, a bit like, obviously he's not the same level as Ronaldo, but it's kind of like how United were not better than Tottenham that game. But Ronaldo was the difference.
Absolutely.
He was finishing, was absolutely the difference in the two sides. And I'm not saying it'll be similar, but I'm just saying Coutinho does have that ability to just get a goal out of nothing, doesn't he? And he's one, you just got to make sure he's having an off day.
Absolutely. And also we've got to stifle him too. The likes of Højbjerg, assuming that he's in the lineup, Højbjerg and Bentancur are sort of back, need to shield the defence, and the defence needs to snuff him out. It's more about cutting off access to Coutinho's balls. Sorry, that sounded completely wrong.
I hope we're restricting that.
Yeah, access to someone's going to be clipping me. He's got to be access to the balls that Coutinho can play, because he's got that ability to pick out a player. So you do that, and half the battle's done. Yes, Coutinho can be the difference. He can spark Villa into getting a result. It was a good purchase for them because when he's on his game, he is of undoubted quality. There's absolutely no denying that. His biggest weakness has always been his inconsistency. So I
think he's showing that again. Look, we have some good injury news going to this game. Ryan Sessegnon and Sergio Reguilon back available for their left wing back slot. It's interesting to see who he selects, though, isn't it? Because Reguilon had COVID, and Sessegnon came in, played quite well for a few games. Then he got injured, and it just happened to coincide with Reguilon being back fit.
Coming back,
He came back, and then he played and did okay. People saying he missed some chances and weren't happy, but whatever. So now they're both fit at the same time. Who do you think he goes for this weekend?
Oh, that's a tricky one. I get the feeling that all is not 100% harmonious between Conte and Reguilon. Not necessarily any kind of major conflict, just that Conte doesn't necessarily trust him that much. On that basis, I can see him picking Sessegnon again. But at the same time, you can turn around and say, well, Sessegnon's very young and he's made a couple of errors. But then you can flip that and say, well, maybe Conte wants to give him some confidence. This one's a tough one to call. My heart says he'll go with Reggie, just for the fact that he was in the squad before and might not want to necessarily sort of damage his confidence this close to the end of the season. Whereas Cesc is coming back from injuries as well, was injured before Reguilon. And so, yeah, heart says Reggie.
Would you do? Some people think or make the argument that Sessegnon could actually be more suited to the wing back role than Reguilon can. Do you subscribe to that? It's an interesting one because I think Reguilon, when it comes to that position, I do think he's probably more of a natural fullback than a wing back. I think that's because I think defensively he's quite strong, and I don't think in terms of making real differences in the final third. I don't think that's his proper forte, like Sessegnon maybe did for Fulham previously and stuff like that. But in a Spurs shirt, from what I've seen, I do think Reguilon has been a lot better at getting into those positions that Conte really likes, like at the back post in space, where we can really hurt the opposition. However, he hasn't really made the most of those positions when he has got in there. But he does get in there more than Sessegnon. So who do you think is more suited to that role?
If we're talking natural ability in terms of the natural position, I think Sessegnon is the more natural wing back because he started off as a winger, and it's more natural for a winger to become a wing back than for a full back to become a wing back, if you like. This is the thing about fullbacks. It is as a position. It's basically you've got to be the most complete footballer to be an effective fullback, or to be an effective sort of wide player, if you like, in today's game. So when you put those together, Reguilon is a more complete footballer than Sessegnon is at the moment, but that might just be experience. Going forward, if Sessegnon can develop, if Sessegnon can learn, then his natural positioning, the position that he's played naturally, to my mind, makes him more suitable for a wing-back role than Reguilon. But right now, I would say Reguilon is probably better developed as a wing-back than Sessegnon is.
Yeah, I think I agree with that, but he's just had more time probably with Conte and on the pitch and stuff like that. I think Sessegnon hasn't had too many... I don't think Sessegnon has had too many... He's only had a few brief games, but he has impressed when he has played. It is going to be interesting for my money what he chooses when what he chooses when the lineups are out. Looking at our other rivals, obviously United play Everton on the weekend, and Arsenal play Brighton. Arsenal obviously took a massive knock to their momentum and confidence with that defeat on Monday night. What's your assessment of, how badly that is going to affect them, seeing as they got really bad injuries, they obviously a really bad defeat and a bad performance. A lot of Arsenal fans I've been speaking to saying it's not necessarily the defeat and the performance that worries them. It's more, Partey yesterday, he's out for a while. Tierney's out for the rest of the season. Looking at the overall picture now, do you think Monday's result has swung momentum into Tottenham's favour in a sense that we're now favourites for top four, or do you think we can't go that far after one defeat yet?
Well, I mean, you've got to if you look at it without any kind of side, if you sort of look at it as a neutral, anyone you speak to will probably say, well, the momentum is with Spurs, but Arsenal still have the advantage of that one game in hand, which is fair comment. But again, we revert back to how many times have Spurs been in this position before, and things have gone pear-shaped. It really does come again, and this is going to be a sort of a bit of a theme. It comes back to the Conte factor. Has he managed to imprint at least some of his mentality on the squad? If he has, if they go into games with the same attitude that he has, or at least can replicate his attitude on the pitch when it matters, then momentum is certainly with us. What happened to Arsenal against Crystal Palace would have been incredibly demoralising, because they've had good victories, but all of them have been against lower level or sort of lower level opposition. They've not really managed to turn it on against the upper reaches of the table, or clubs in the upper reaches of the table. And then Crystal Palace come along, who are always regarded wrongly this season as sort of relegation candidates. But Patrick Vieira has, contrary to a lot of expectation, brought them solidly into mid-table, and they're perfectly safe and happy to be there. And they had nothing to play for on Monday, not the Crystal Palace players. Vieira might have done, because he'd want to prove to his old club, I'm now, this is what I am. But the players won't necessarily have anything to prove against Arsenal. But they went out there and they imposed themselves on that Arsenal side. As a Spurs fan, it was an utter joy to watch. And so, with injuries coming in, with the likes of Martinelli coming in, having to be subbed in and not playing wonderfully well, they're going to look at themselves and say, what is happening to us right now? Maybe the wish is the father of the thought, but it might drag on them. It might cause them to think, yeah, we've got a problem here, and that might prey on their minds. So,
and it's not just that as well. When you talk about the injuries, it's that Arsenal. It's not like they've been playing in terms like Tottenham, who are winning games by big margins. Like we're at the moment, we are blowing teams away. At the moment, like with 20 minutes to go, the games are dead. At the moment, how we're playing for a lot of the games. Whereas Arsenal, they beating Watford, just scraping past Watford 3-2, 1-0 against Villa. Like they're winning games by very small margins and very tight. And this is with a fully fit squad and with everything going towards them, one game a week, no injuries. But now the injuries start coming and their squad's really going to be tested now, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's interesting that people say, Arsenal still have that game in hand, which is true. They do still have their game in hand, but if Tottenham beat Arsenal, then because of our goal difference, we're ahead of them. So,
that's right.
But before Monday night, it was in Arsenal's hands, but now it's in Arsenal and Tottenham's hands, and that's a big difference, isn't it?
You see, I think the game in hand issue with regard to the fact that we've still got to play them, the complicating factor with that is the fact that we've got to play them so far in the future, so close to the end of the season, and with the spread between 4th and 7th being only 3 points. 1 or 2 results can alter that structure wildly.
Massively,
I've got a Man United friend who was saying to me that she thinks the season for them is over already. So you will get some very weird and wild speculation as well. I still think momentum is with us. Man United seem to be going through this period of existential crisis almost. Arsenal have got those injury problems. West Ham, I don't believe, will have the strength to finish. So yeah, I think that the advantage is in our favour, but whether or not we'll be able to capitalise is a very different thing.
That's the thing. We've been chasing for a lot of the season, especially since Conte's come in, but now we've actually got ourselves into that top 4. That comes with a new type of pressure, and everyone was talking about the pressure on Arsenal on Monday night. If Arsenal, as expected, do beat Brighton on Saturday, let's assume they do, does that come with a different kind of pressure for Tottenham now on the Saturday? Later kickoff,
Yeah, I think so. I'm not 100% au fait as to whether or not, how much access the players will have to the sort of results as they're coming in while they're prepping for a game. So it might be a case of, do they even know what the sort of result is before they kick off themselves is a question. If I was Conte, to be honest, I probably wouldn't. I would try and find a way for them not to even find out. It would just be a case of, don't worry about the results. You go out there and show Aston Villa what you can do. If they do have access to that information, they should, as professionals, they should not be letting it worry them. I know they're human and it can happen, yes, of course, but part of the change that the Tottenham squad needs to see or needs to implement is worry about yourselves and be confident in yourselves that you can show the opposition what you're made of. That is the most important thing. Yeah,
and I agree with that. And look, Conte's the difference, I guess, as well, is Conte has been in these kind of positions before on a regular basis. He's been in title challenges, let alone top 4 challenges at this late stage. He knows how to keep a team focused. Arteta, look, as much as he's done well this season, you've got to give him credit. He's still very new to this managerial work. He's had 2 8th-place finishes, so he's never really been in the final stretch of a run-in and with real pressure.
Absolutely.
It's always kind of been the season's done. They've always had no pressure but come the end of the season. And they do usually play well for the last 2 games, but now when the pressure's on, we'll see what they're made of. So I think that could be a massive advantage to us. And also, people also have to take into account that as much as Kane and Son and Lloris and these players and Dyer even, they haven't won anything, but they have been in these top 4 races so often. They have a lot of experience, whereas Arsenal, they haven't been in the top 4 now since 2017, I think, 5 years. They're a very young squad. They're very new to, all of them are very new to these kind of pressures and challenges. So that I remember with Tottenham, when we were a very young team under Pochettino, like, it was all very new, like when we were in a run-in late on, and we did tend to crumble late on. So it'll be interesting to see how this Arsenal team tend to react. Faz Radfar says, Arsenal not playing well for a while, just lucky. I wouldn't say they've been lucky, because I don't think, well, in the individual games, like I watched them, I don't think they don't deserve the victory. It's just that they're only just getting the victory.
Do you know, the weird thing is, when I watched them against Palace, one thing that really struck me about them as a team, they didn't seem particularly hungry, in terms of they didn't seem like it was the most important thing in the world to be there in that 90 minutes, which you would hope every footballer would feel. You know, that's ultimately what they're trained for, outside of whatever sort of specific skills that they do. But I didn't see it. Maybe I was projecting, you know, maybe I didn't want them to be, and I was just projecting it onto them. But it just seemed as if they hadn't learnt that lesson yet. And maybe that comes from youth. I think having got rid of some of those disruptive elements in their squad, they have the fundamentals, or they've got the foundations of a squad that can grow and become a lot better. They will need more quality because their squad is quite thin anyway. But this is one of the things that Arteta seems to have managed now, is to get rid of the other voices. He is now the master of that dressing room. This season, I don't think it's enough for them, but with some additions, with some more work, they may well constitute a threat in the future. I don't think, as I agree with you, I don't think they've been lucky. They have deserved the wins, but the margin is as deserved as it could be. They've never been in a match where it's a case of they should have won 5 or 6-0, but only won 1-0. They've won 1-0 because they've only really deserved 1-0.
Yeah, I agree with that. I completely agree with that. And it's interesting as well, thinking about if at the end game in terms of who, because I think at the moment, I know, look, United are in there. We're only 3 points above them, same games played. And as long as the gap is 3 points, you've got to say they're in the race. But if it, let's say it is between Tottenham and Arsenal, it's interesting to think about who it's going to hurt more to miss out, because Arsenal, very young team, they'll, you know, people say they're growing. Arteta's moving them in the right direction. Even if they miss out on top 4, they were never expected to get top 4 this season. So is it a massive is it a massive blow if they don't get top 4 and only finish 5th, when they're probably only expecting top 6 anyway? With Tottenham, it's like we have Kane and Conte at the helm, where their futures are uncertain. You got Son, who's going to be 30 in a year's time. He's probably wanting Champions League as well. So do you think it is more important for Spurs to get top 4 than Arsenal? Or do you look at also Arsenal and think this is a massive opportunity for them this season, because one game a week, they've had no injuries. They've had Spurs as well, had Nuno for the first 10 games. We're not going to have that next season.
No, that's right.
Like United have been in disarray. So this was a big opportunity for them to get top 4 as well. And if they miss out, you could argue they've also missed out on a big opportunity.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to think who top 4 is more important for.
You see, Spurs should never have dropped out of the top 4 in the first place. We should have been in the Champions League consistently since Pochettino was here. The sort of errors that have been made that have led us to drop out of that, whatever they happen to be, have been of our own making, but the mistakes have been so egregious that they have caused us to drop down. Whereas with Arsenal, certainly with Man United after Ferguson left, they mismanaged the sort of succession planning. And so for them sort of dropping out, you can say, well, yeah, they had a really old squad. They needed a rebuild. We should have been building earlier while we were still in the top four, and we didn't. And that's what led us to drop out. Arsenal, likewise, when they dropped out of the Champions League places, again, it was because they hadn't done their job properly. They've started their rebuild now, but they are at a point in that rebuild where getting into the Champions League is still a longer term objective. With Spurs, the weird thing is that the manner in which we've been rebuilding, or nominally rebuilding anyway, is almost reliant now on us getting getting Champions League football, because we have instituted, we've got this manager in place that we really need to have Champions League football for him almost. It's almost like if Conte doesn't have top four, that's a misuse of Conte.
Right.
So it's more important objectively to Spurs, not in terms of deserving. Deserving is a very complicated and different thing to unpick. Objectively speaking, it's probably most important for Spurs. Man United are big enough that they don't necessarily need the injection of cash. Arsenal are not quite at that point where that's an objective for them. West Ham have never had it, so they wouldn't miss it.
Good point.
So yeah, I think for Spurs, it's probably the one that is most critical for them.
But is it a missed opportunity for Arsenal if they don't get it from this point? You don't think it's
not this season? No, I don't think so.
You don't think with one game a week and all these different factors going in their favour?
No, because I think a missed opportunity is something that you're aiming for and not getting.
No, but it's a bit like how everyone said when we lost the league to Leicester. Everyone said, that's a missed opportunity because you could have won the league. You had an opening to win the league that season. You didn't, even though at the beginning of the season we weren't even looking at top four.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let alone the league. Come the end of the season, we were in a title challenge.
Yeah.
Everyone was saying, if you don't win the league this season, you're not going to get an opportunity for a long time. And do you not feel like maybe it could be similar with Arsenal? If you don't get top four this season, maybe it could be a while before they get an opportunity like this.
I don't think that's the thing. I don't think that them getting top four. I don't think us getting top four, in actual fact, will be. If we miss out on it, it will make that much of a difference to what we want to do next season. And I think that's the same for Arsenal. So I'm quite sanguine about the top four situation. For me, it's not a desperate thing, because when it comes to our squad, it's a case of Conte's tenure, Conte's era at Spurs will start in the summer, really, in my view. This has been the sort of preamble to the Conte era, even though he's been in place. And for Arsenal, again, it's a case of, for them, they have to get a squad together with proper depth before they can then start making a challenge for honours, let's say. And so, I think it comes down to definitions and semantics more than anything else. I think it's a case of how do we define an opportunity. For me, an opportunity is something that you would aim for, and if you don't get it, it's a missed opportunity. Whereas in this scenario, is it something that has a serendipitous thing that's dropped in that they didn't take advantage of? Yes, of course. If that's the case, it would be. But I don't think it's critical to either of us right now, in terms of it being a defining thing for us. It's more critical for us. Would love it to happen, but not really that desperate for either of them.
All right, that's a good chat. Look, we have Antonio Conte's press conference, which he spoke about the Aston Villa game at length. So we'll play that for you now. We'll react to some of the interesting things he had to say, and we'll come back after the press conference.
Afternoon, everybody. Just start with some housekeeping. So we'll start with the broadcast section, which has got no embargo, followed by an embargoed section. No live tweeting during the broadcast section, please. As always, we'll start with team news from Sky, and then a maximum of 2 questions per journalist so that we can get through as many people as we have in the time available Kyle, do you want to start us off, please?
Yeah, of course, thank you.
Hi, good afternoon.
Any team news updates ahead of this weekend? Any new injuries or anything? Any players coming back this week?
No, no new injuries, and two good news because Raya Sessegnon and Sergio Reguilon, they had the training session today with us. Yeah, two good news, and about Olivier Skip, and we had to wait, and he's not ready. He's not still ready, and we need to have patience with him and to try to solve his problem. But for the game against Aston Villa, and then two good news because Sergio had the training session. It was the same for Raya Sessegnon. It was the first time for Raya Sessegnon from a long time, and for sure with him we had to pay a bit of attention more than Sergio, but at the same time it was good to stay with us and to have the training session.
Brilliant. And then just moving on to Champions League, if you don't mind talking just about that. Your thoughts on the new reform from 2024, from 32 teams to 36? Two of those four additional teams going to be included because of historically successful teams. Do you think that teams should be included based on merit and based on their historical success?
But honestly, and I think this is not this is a topic that you have to try to ask to the owner, no, to the club, and I think that we have to try to go to participate in the Champions League because you deserve to play this fantastic tournament, and for this reason we want to try in this season to be in the race, no, to play the Champions League. Then, if in the future decide to improve, no, with the 24 teams instead of 22, and to do this. But I think we have to deserve to play the Champions League. This is the best way to play this tournament.
A lot of conversation around this new reform, maybe UEFA are appeasing some of the top clubs in Europe. Do you think that's why they're bringing in this new set of rules and restrictions around it all?
No, but I repeat, and I think that my focus is on the pitch, is to try to improve my team, to try to give to reach the best result with my team, and then for other situation, I think this for the club, for the owners, and to try to for the people that they are there to take this type of decision. Thank you very much.
Jake?
Hey.
You've won your last 3 matches in the Premier League. Does it feel like the momentum is now starting to be with you in your team?
But we have to continue in this way. We have to continue and to play in the way that we are playing in this period. I think after hard work, we improved a lot than the past. Also in the past, we won games, and but I think that now I'm starting to see the right maturity of my team, the right solidity, and also the right confidence of my players, and to try to play every game and to try to get 3 points. You know very well that this league, every game is very difficult, but I think that if you compare the past, my team has improved a lot, and I feel now more comfortable to face the opponent.
Is part of that then you've had full weeks at a time? You haven't had any Champions League or European football, so you've had more time to be able to work with the players. And how does that help you going into the game this weekend?
But for sure, and to have more time, more days to work with your players is important, especially because don't forget, I came in this season in November, and I didn't have the same time of other coach, other managers, to have the pre-season and to build your team with players that you wanted to sign in the summer, and a lot of difficulty. Despite this, I think worked very well, and it's important for me to have more time to spend with my team to improve under tactical aspect, under physical aspect, in the mentality, with video analysis, to prepare the game. Honestly, to prepare the game every 6 days, every 7 days, instead 2-3 days, change totally because you prepare the game very well with accuracy, and I think this. For this reason, also the team is improving, and you can see our idea of football now.
Thanks, Jake. Ian?
Hi.
You all right? You won the game last Sunday, but then you knew that because you were there. And Harry Kane didn't score, but was still man of the match because of the assists he had and the way he sometimes drops away from being a number 9 to a number 10. If you look at all the other big strikers in world football, like Lewandowski or Benzema, they just score goals pretty much. Harry does everything. Where would you say he sits amongst the best 9/10s in world football?
I think that he deserves an important position, in the world of football, and I think Harry also he has the right age, and to show that you can be one of the best in the world, but especially in the story, and I think that he is already in the story because he scored a lot of goals with the club, has scored a lot of goals with the national team, is the captain, and he has the right age to consolidate, to be one of the best in the world, and for sure his role is a typical role because he's a number 9, but at the same time he can become a number 10 for his quality, because he is very good to make assists and to put the ball where he wants, and which I also to exploit this aspect to him, and about our team, I'm trying to improve not his quality, but to be more effective, into the box, to be a striker, and I repeat, and we are talking about a fantastic player. So it's very difficult to improve him, but we are trying to work and to push him to have the top ambition, to become the best striker.
And I know every manager just takes the next game as the most important game, so Aston Villa is your most important game. But we did get through a date this week for the North London derby, and if Spurs win, as they have been recently, and Arsenal carry on, it looks like that could be the game that decides top 4. Is that how you see it as a football man, not as a manager? As a football man, is that how you see it? Could come down to one game.
But every game, and if you win, you get 3 points. And at this moment, we need to win for 3 points, because to take 3 points, it means that your table improve. You start to put pressure on your opponents, or the other teams that wants to, or they are in the same race of you for the 4th place. And I think in this moment, until the end. There is Arsenal and United, West Ham, and also Wolverhampton, no? Because they are in a good position. No? I think that it's important, and to win derby, it's important to win specific games. But I think that it's important to win every time, because especially in the last part of the season, there are 8 games to play, and every game is vital for us. Has to be a final, and the next game against Aston Villa, we know very well, to play away against them is not easy for the fantastic, the great atmosphere, no, that there is around the stadium. But we want to confirm, no? We want to confirm that we are in a good form, and we want to try to continue to keep a good result.
Thanks, Ian. Ali?
I want to ask you about Matt Doherty. He said involved in 5 goals in 6 games now. He did an interview the other day where he said he feels he's got a connection with you now, and he felt that maybe you started to trust him a bit more after the Leeds match. Is that how you see it?
But about Matthew is the typical player that that is showing big improvements, because if you remember very well, at the start he didn't play a lot with me, because at that moment I think that he didn't deserve to play, and then he worked very hard, and is a really good guy, and in every training session you see the desire, the will to improve himself, and the tactical aspect and the technical aspect. He has a great mentality because he's strong, and many times when players don't play a lot, they go down mentally. Instead, he showed me to be strong and to stay there and to show me that okay, and I'll do what you want. I'm going to improve, and then when I'm ready and I want to play. And he said me not talking, but with the attitude, with the behavior, and for this reason now he's playing. He's deserving to play, and he's playing very well, and a great confidence, and I'm very happy for him, because this is a big example, no? Also for the other players, because I repeat, and I want to win, and it doesn't care if play one player or another player, and I decide the player when I see that this player give me great reliability.
Sorry, I have to ask you about Oliver Skip again. Is the only cure for this rest? Is that the only way to help him? And if so, is there any temptation to maybe just rest him for the rest of the season, if you can?
No, absolutely no, not. We have to recover him for this season and stop, because this must be our target for the medical department, for the player, and it's totally different than Tanganga's situation, because Jeff he had an injury in his knee, and for this reason his season was out, was over, no? But for Skip, no. Also because I repeat, and it's important the player to feel, no? To feel this possibility, and there is this possibility to recover in this season. Also because we need him, and we trust him, and he's a really good guy, and I'm really sorry for him, because he doesn't deserve to have this type of injury and to stay out for a long term. But I repeat, and he has to recover in this season, no? And I'll push the medical department and to recover him in this season very soon because we need him.
Okay, final one in this section, Johnny, please.
Aye.
Giovanni Lo Celso is playing really well for Villarreal. He got man of the match last night. Have you been watching him while he's been in Spain? And is there any chance he can come back and play here next season?
First of all, I'm really happy. I'm really happy for his great performance, and he needed to play with regularity, with the continuity, and for this reason he went to Spain in a league that he knows very well because he played very well, and Tottenham bought him when he played in that league. To come back there and to show that he's in a good form and is a good player is good for everybody. Also because Tottenham spent a lot of money for him, and I'm very happy because he's playing every game. He's showing to be a good player, but I never said that he's not a good player. I say that this league is very difficult, and because it's not enough to have great quality. It's important to be strong physically and to play with great intensity, and but now he's playing with the regularity, and I'm very happy for him, also for Gil, and they are playing very well in Spain, and also the club did the right choice, yes.
Thanks, Johnny. Okay, we'll end the broadcast section there. We'll move on to the embargoed section. So we'll start with the standard with the 12 p.m.
All right, that is every word Antonio Conte had to say ahead of the game against Aston Villa. Interesting his comments just now on Giovanni Lo Celso. Obviously, he wasn't asked about Ndombele, who obviously scored last night for Lyon against West Ham. There are reports that Lyon are not going to take their option to buy him as well. But with them both playing very well at the moment on their loan spells, Brian Hill as well. For you personally, is there a route back at Tottenham, or is the fact they've gone out on loan an indication that there's no future here?
For all three, or just
you can take it one by one.
Okay. I've been very strident in my view of Ndombele, and that is I do not want to see him wearing our shirt again, because for me, Ndombele, it's not a question of talent or ability. We know he has that in spades. He's probably one of the most naturally gifted players that we've had the privilege of seeing. Well, I say privilege. We've seen in a Spurs shirt. Unfortunately, ability is actually not in my view anyway, is not the most important skill that a footballer should have. Application is, and he doesn't apply himself properly.
But so it's irrelevant for you how well he does at Lyon.
Yeah. Unless there is some sea changes in his attitude and he comes back ready, willing and able and 100% committed to the common cause, which I've not seen any evidence of. And so for that reason, I don't believe that he should pull on the shirt again. When it comes to Lo Celso, weirdly, although he has made some absolute unbelievably schoolboyish errors, and I don't believe he's the sharpest spoon in the drawer. If again, like Ndombele, if he has demonstrated application, he has shown that he was willing to work hard. So if Conte can fit him into his system, and Conte wants to fit him into his system, I have no objection. Likewise with Gil or Hill, if there is a place for him, or if Conte believes there's a place for him, by all means bring him back and fit him in. I'm not sure that he's suited to the Premier League though. Overall, he's still very slight. the physicality of the Premier League is very difficult. He would have to bulk up quite substantially in order to have the physical strength to do it in the Premier League, in my view. But I wouldn't lose any sleep if he came.
He was a bad player, but I said this league is it's very difficult to play in this league, and you have to be you have to have a lot of intensity, and you have to be strong. Do you think he was just implying that Lo Celso is not suited to the league? Is that or do you think I'm reading too much into that kind of answer?
Yeah, potentially. It could be that. It could, perhaps Conte is just, using language that is pretty equivocal. He's not necessarily criticizing the player, nor is he necessarily praising the player. Saying he's pleased for him, that's fair enough. That doesn't commit him to anything. Saying he's a good player to an extent doesn't really commit him either, because ultimately he's playing at the top level in Spanish football, so that denotes a player that is at the very least good, if not, he's not necessarily great, but he's still good enough. So I think it's equivocal. I think it's just Conte not wanting to commit one way or the other. In his position, I would be looking for other players to include in next season's squad. Lo Celso, Hill, and certainly Ndombele would be low on my list of wants if I was Conte.
Fair enough. He was obviously also asked about Ollie Skip, and asked whether if Skip is going to be. I think the question was, would it be positive if Skip would rest from now to the end of the season or something like that? And he said absolutely not, and he's putting pressure on the medical staff to try and get him back as soon as possible. How worrying for you is this Oliver Skip situation at the moment, in which there's no clarity over what the injury is? It started off as a groin injury, and then he got infected, and now it seems to be in a situation where we're just taking it week by week to see if he has pain whenever he gets on the pitch. There was obviously positivity last week from Conte saying he's going to be back on the pitch this week. He did get back on the pitch, and he still felt pain in his groin, and it seems as if the medical department can't put their finger on it at the moment. Conte seems to be getting visibly frustrated. So is this a very worrying situation for you?
I'm worried. I am worried. In as much as... Excuse me.
It's all right.
I think it's obvious to everyone how valuable Skip is to us, the fans, and to Conte, and I'm guessing to the rest of the squad. The fact that it wasn't a particularly major injury that he first picked up. It wasn't unserious, but it wasn't something that is supposed to keep him out for a that lengthy a spell of time. And now this ill-defined or undefined thing that is keeping him on the sidelines. I'm worried. I'm worried that he's going to be out for a long time, and that's going to affect his development. Skip has, at the beginning of the season, or while he was still playing, I had every confidence that he would actually be going to Qatar with the England World Cup squad. I really did. I genuinely believed it, because the progress that he was making game to game to game was phenomenal. The guy is in his very early time. I think he's 22. Is he 22 or 21? 21. I mean, he's already showing so much maturity, composure like you wouldn't believe for a 21-year-old in the Premier League. The energy on him, the engine on him, the ability to pass and tackle and break up play and do all the things that you would expect from a midfield destroyer. Was out of this world. And at the age of 21, I thought that guy could go on and become world class. I would be utterly heartbroken if this injury causes his development to stunt. And that's my worry. It's not founded on anything. It's just a worry. It's one of those things that you sort of praise on your mind. Yeah. I'm hoping he's back before the end of the season. I utterly agree with Antonio Conte that no, we are not looking to rest him for the rest of the season. We want him back. He doesn't deserve the injury. He has got to be back because he's important to us. That chimes with me completely.
And if Skip is back from now to the end of the season, he's going to find it difficult to get back in the squad, back in the team, the way Højbjerg and Bentancur are performing right now. who, if you thinking the best 2 out of 3 midfielders out of those 3, who is your best 2?
I would go with a midfield of or a central midfield of Bentancur and Skip. I love Højbjerg, and when I say this, people seem to think that I'm sort of downplaying Højbjerg. I'm utterly not. I think he's great at what he does, and he has been playing excellently, and I have a lot of time for him. I just think it's more that I think Skip is suited to the role that Højbjerg is playing better than Højbjerg. Højbjerg would play a different central midfield role better than Skip, but it's not one that we utilise with the current setup. You know, Bentancur for me is more the sort of they're both you know your anchors at the back. One of them is the one that is sort of looks forward more than shields the defence. The other shields defence more than looks forward. Skip does that better than Højbjerg. Bentancur does his role better than Højbjerg. So it's like Højbjerg falls between 2 stools. But that's in no way saying that Højbjerg is bad at what he does, only that those 2 are ever so slightly better, and so would be better utilised if you have them both.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens if Skip is back before the end of the season, because Conte will have a bit of a selection headache on his hands.
I don't think that Skip should come straight back in, though.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. It would have to be a gradual reintegration because Højbjerg has earned his spot. But I see ultimately, you know, the sort of default pairing being Bentancur and Skip.
Could be that next season. Sean Deitch, I don't think it's the Sean Deitch, but he's sent in a super chat saying a couple of sessions with Sonny's dad will fix Tongi. I'm sure he's probably right there. More kick-ups.
Yeah,
more
absolutely.
kick-ups.
Yeah. Put that KFC down.
All right. Should we start getting some callers? Let's do it. Let's get some callers in. We'll look who we have in the background. He's on his phone, but get off your phone, mate. You're coming on the studio. You're coming on live on We Are Tottenham TV. Let's bring him on, the one and only Brian Daigle. You're going to need headphones for this one. How are we doing, Brian? You all right?
I don't know what you're talking about on my phone. What are you talking about?
My mistake.
I'm good. How are you both?
Yeah, we're doing well. We're doing well, Brian. Hope you're doing all right. We've got a very big game coming this weekend against Aston Villa in the race for the top 4. What are your thoughts coming into it?
So first of all, I've never been more confident going into a game than this one. I was talking about Reson on his channel yesterday. We have a very, very good record at Villa over the last decade. I remember when it was my first ever away game, Villa, and I went when we had Klinsmann. The first time, and it used to be a bogey team for us, but now it's the exact opposite. So I'm supremely confident. The thing that what I got from when you were talking about as well is this whole Sessegnon Reguilon. Who do you play? And I've said it here for a few weeks now that I honestly think Sessegnon is our future left wing back, and I literally think he will start if they're both fit, because I am convinced. Tottenham know Real Madrid are activating the buyback, and he's giving Sessegnon more game time to be ready for next season.
Right.
You reckon that's happening?
I reckon it is, because we've seen rumours of Barcelona being interested, and Real Madrid will buy him back just to stop Barcelona getting him. Let's be serious, they would. And do you know what? I actually prefer when I was doing the watch along with you, Simeon and Henry, when I was back home for the Leeds game when Sessegnon crossed to Matt Doherty. I think Sessegnon is more in a better position to take on the left wing back role and do what Conte needs than Reguilon.
At this point, can I ask Brian? At this point, who do you think is, just in absolute terms right now, not necessarily in the future, who would you class as the better left wing back? Would you say it would be Sessegnon or Reguilon?
I'm not going to change my mind. I think it's Sessegnon. I really do. I love what he was doing at Fulham, and obviously that's where we all caught the attention of him. I think he's got a higher ceiling. When Reguilon came, he started off like a house on fire. He was superb, and then it's just been stop, start, injury here, the loss of form last season, which was woeful, and he's had the odd good game where I think Sessegnon, when he deputised for him over Christmas, did well, especially Liverpool. He had another game at Leeds, but he just cut every time he seems to get into some form of rhythm. He picks up one of these niggling injuries, which I remember Conte saying previously, it's the same injury. We need to work on this because it is fixable. And I just hope he can fix it because I actually do think he's got a higher ceiling.
Interesting. Look, Aston Villa on the weekend. We never were quite sure what you're going to get with Aston Villa. How worried are you going into it? You know that they're going to spring a surprise, maybe with the formation, or will Coutinho turn up? All these different factors, or do you think we just got to focus on ourselves and not worry what Villa bring?
That's what we got. We've only got to focus on us. Like I said, with our track record there, I've never been this confident going into a game, which I don't know if that's a good thing actually, but but I am supremely confident. I just think right now things are starting to click, and it doesn't matter what they throw at us. If you look at it, we've got that back three are becoming a rock. All right, it's only set pieces. We're only kind of conceding even against West Ham. The front three are on fire. The two in Bentancur and Højbjerg are forming a great partnership. And if you look at that, that is a very, very confident spine to have in your squad there. There's 8 players. Sorry, 7. No, 8. My maths. Jesus Christ. What is it? My maths channel? Jesus Christ. 8 players that I think we're just too powerful. We're just too powerful. And if they stay fit, then sky's the limit for this season. But yeah, I just think we're going to be too strong no matter what they throw us. Yeah,
I'm still trying to work out based on your calculations whether we're going to make top 4 or not. I can't quite remember.
Yeah, well, I've put my hands up to this. Like you guys know, I'll put my hands up where I think I'm wrong, and I think top 4 is a distinct possibility now. But it's not just from our turn of form; it's just the other teams not wanting it.
Did you have Palace beating Arsenal in your predictions back then?
Yes, I did. I said actually, I think when we did your show, I think I might have said draw, but I said, listen, I've only gone draw because I wanted to not have my Tottenham hat on and try and look at this objectively. But I was saying that Palace away, they always seem to struggle, like what a lot of teams do. Palace away is one of the games in the fixture list that I hate. I hate when it comes around. Only Palace away because they're fans, as you would know, Simeon, always being there. It's a formidable place to go to, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit of a cauldron. They definitely they do have once they get behind them.
You could hear it. You could hear it on the match, just on TV. They raucous is an understatement. They were noisy. They were amazing, to be honest.
Yeah, they were bouncing, wasn't it?
It's that one section as well, Simeon, that drives it all, isn't it? It's in the corner behind one of the goals, where it's like the hub, let's say. But yeah, Arsenal, they got absolutely annihilated, and long may that continue.
Absolutely.
Do you think it'll affect, Arsenal played just before us, they played Brighton. Do you think their results going to have any bearing on what happens at Spurs? Because we've got a different sort of pressure on us now, don't we? A bit like how Arsenal had pressure on them on Monday.
Yeah, well, Sim, you know what it is? Arsenal, like I said to you before, have got like a double kind of threat right now. Not only the points, but goal difference has become a key factor now after conceding 3. Brighton, I think they may just the filter may just be a bit too strong for them. But like you said, this is where we learn. Like with the whole Leicester running, apart from near the end, we were always going second, and we had the players and the mentality to see that pressure through. This time going second, this is where we're going to see what we're made of. Like I said, I think the players I mentioned are just going to be too strong for Villa, but knowing Arsenal have won, or if they've won, that puts a different pressure on us. And I do think this time we will be just too strong, and we'll ride that pressure out.
Yeah, I definitely feel that way. What's your score prediction then going into the game against Villa?
3-0 Harry Kane hat-trick. He gave everyone a chance last Saturday by not scoring, and he's going to make up for that on tomorrow with a Harry Kane hat-trick.
Harry Kane hat-trick. Confident,
Brilliant.
Aren't you, Brian?
Oh, mate, look at me. I mean, people are probably thinking, what have they done with Brian? They shaved his hair and they've taken away his legitimacy or realism. But no. The Villa game, like I said before, we were talking about it last time, Simeon. It's the Brentford game that is that I think is the banana. Forget Liverpool. We all know Liverpool is a huge and massive task. But out of the remaining fixtures, the one that concerns me because of what they've done at home is Brentford and the form they're in right now.
Yeah, you're right. That's guys had definitely potential.
And Christian Eriksen may be wanting not to prove a point, but just to sort of say hi, guys, and show us up a little bit.
Well, whereas you look at it, what I admire, but thanks to being in Canada and we've got the zone, I get to pick any game I watch at any time. So if there's multiple games at 3, I can take my pick. And the one game that I made sure I watched last weekend, apart from ours, was Chelsea-Brentford. And what I've got to say and admired about Brentford is they came out, they knew they were the weaker side, starting 11 or start the whole squad. But they pressed from minute one. They just we're not going to sit back and let Chelsea come at us because that's what they do. They may have the better team, but we're going to press. And they rattled them. And that's what they did against Liverpool. It's what they did against the Filth. It's what they did at Chelsea at home. So I think that game is a lot more difficult than people will make out.
Because we don't like that kind of pressure much. That's the thing. That's the key, is to get Conte. Conte's challenge, I think, is getting us happy to be pressed.
Exactly. This is what we've got to do. We just got to make sure, like I said, tomorrow I just think we'll have too much for them. The next game is Brighton at home, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that at home is a home banker, or should be anyway. And I think it has been I think we've won every time we've played them at home, haven't we?
I believe so. I believe so.
So again, and then Brentford, and then all roads lead to May the 12th, doesn't it?
Yeah, which could be a very, very big game. All right, Brian. One quick one as well. Yeah, go on. What are you going to say?
I can see it's the future because I already know I'm going to be very, very ill on May the 12th and unable to work. It's amazing.
I'm sure it's not too serious.
How
Brian.
unfortunate.
No, it's going to be one of those. It's going to be one of those 24-hour things. I can just feel it.
Yeah.
I'll get the doctor's note ready. Don't you worry. Love it, Brian. Good to see you as always, my man. And we'll speak to you very, very soon.
We most certainly will. Come on, Spurs 3-0, and as always, Levy out.
Nice
Take
one,
care,
Brian.
Brian.
Good to see you, mate. Always good speaking to Brian Daigle. Let's keep going on the guests, and we got Mikey coming up next. Let's bring him on.
Hey guys.
Hey, Mikey, how you doing, mate?
I'm all good. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, feeling all right. Look, we're in good form, aren't we? Going to the game of the weekend. We got good momentum, good buoyed by Arsenal's result on Monday night as well. But Villa could be a tricky tie given the talent they have in their team. So, what are you thinking about going to the game?
Each time I've tried to put any sort of confidence in, I always try and keep a level head, but I feel something special is building. I can't put it past me. I think something special is building.
You can't run from it, Mikey.
I'm looking at this team and I'm seeing a togetherness that I haven't seen since when we were flying high under Poch. I'm seeing a team that wants to play for a badge, but I think ultimately this togetherness is what's driving our Champions League pursuit. If we don't make Champions League, I think it will be the final nail in the coffin for a lot of factors. I don't necessarily think that Conte will immediately walk just after we if we don't make Champions League, and Conte, I don't think he'll walk immediately, but I think if the club fails to satisfy the ambitions of key players, like we saw last summer, it could lead to an exodus of our stars. And but not to be too negative, obviously, I'm very pleased, but I see a togetherness. But that togetherness is driving our pursuit of Champions League, and I worry that feeling of what's the word? That feeling of community, I guess, within the squad, that might dissipate if we don't finish in the top 4 and we don't hear that beautiful anthem playing in our purpose-built stadium. Because since that stadium was built, we've had, I can't exactly remember how many Champions League games we've had in it, but I know one of them was a loss to Leipzig. So we need to
we beat Man City, didn't we? We beat Man City in the quarterfinal.
We did, yes.
Was that the "Do you know who I am"
exactly
game? Lovely moment. That was proper cold by Sonny. I love that.
and then we played Ajax and lost at home, but then obviously we know what happened, and then we played Leipzig and under Mourinho. So yeah, we've had what three. Actually, no, we would have had the group stage as well, but we've had like what 6, 7 Champions League games there in total.
Not
And, like,
enough is the point.
it's not enough. Yeah, we need. I'd love it if we beat them. I wouldn't know. I would love to see. I would love to see Tottenham back where they belong at the level that we can participate at. Because I'm looking at this team and like I was watching. I can't remember what it was. I was watching something. I think I was watching I think I was watching Lee Judge's reaction to the 3-0 Palace defeat, and he couldn't stop talking about how scared he was of Tottenham catching Arsenal, because he said, and from a devout Arsenal fan, on their day Tottenham can beat anyone. It's just that their day doesn't come around enough, and I think that resonates quite. I think that resonates quite well. But I'm looking at 6 wins in 8 games. We've only lost twice to Villa in like 15 years. So all aspects leading into this game should point to a Tottenham win, but it's all aspects pointing to a Tottenham win, which is when we lose.
Do you think, Mikey, we've finally found our consistency, or is it too early to say that? You know, as you said, 6 wins in 8 is pretty good. We have obviously struggled in that February period. We lost 4 out of 5 Premier League games. But do you think in terms of results and performances, we have found it yet, or is it premature to say that you're confident Tottenham can go on a run from now to the end of the season?
I think consistency right now is on our side. I think if every player just puts in the level that they've been putting in, like they did against West Ham, you know, because like we shouldn't have lost that game to we shouldn't have lost that game to Man United. It was just a Ronaldo brilliance that, you know, ultimately, because that game was in our favor. You know, we had better chances, but obviously if a player like Ronaldo shows up, there's not a lot you can do about that because he's next level quality when he shows up. But aside from that, I'm very confident that our consistency will carry us to the end of the season. But I do think it's a bit early to say, because we have the tendency to slip up in a game when there's no real pressure. Like at the moment, it seems like, you know, there's 8 games left, but when it gets to crunch time, in our final 4 games of the season, we have 2 incredibly difficult games followed by 2 incredibly easy games. Like that shake-up is good for us, but also, you know, I have major flashbacks because we're going to be probably playing an already relegated Norwich side on the final day of the season, and from what happened in a Champions League pursuit when we last played it already relegated side. I think we lost 5-1 to Newcastle or something along those lines.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that was the season we finished 3rd.
Correct, in a two-horse
race. Yeah.
So yeah, just from now until the end of the season, consistency will be key. We have an okay draw. Like the next 3 games of Villa, Brighton, and Brentford, I'm quietly confident for. Obviously living in an area about 15 minutes away from the Brentford Stadium, I'll probably be able to hear the cheers from the Tottenham fans when we beat them at the new stadium. But you know, it's that sort of 5-day period when we play Liverpool away. I don't think any Spurs fan is going to kid themselves and say that we are the favourites, because they'll be in a title race. They're in the hunt for the title, obviously top 4 race, but is still important. But I think that is one game we haven't. If we do win, it will shock everyone. Like it will shock everyone. But the other games utterly winnable. Tottenham, Arsenal at home, North London derby. I predict a win for that. I'm very confident to the end of the season, but I don't want to get too ahead of myself, because every time I do, something happens. Like it doesn't even have to be a result. An injury to Kane could see our season finished. Like it's always, Kane hasn't had one of his 4, 5, 6 week out injuries for and maybe that's up to better conditioning maybe that's due to better conditioning. But I've got one eye out for sort of a factor, because last time we played Aston Villa, Sonny broke his arm. or a couple of years back. So that's
Still scored 2 goals.
I still scored.
and then I think the last time we played Aston Villa last season, that was when that horrific own goal from Reguilon was scored.
Yeah.
So pray to
So
God,
so bringing it
Sesame-
back to sort of the short term, Mikey. Speaking of Aston Villa, other than Coutinho, who in your opinion is the danger man in that squad?
Ollie Watkins, definitely. He I was watching the England games recently, and I was listening to them, and the analysis on Ollie Watkins was the two different kind of playing styles between Harry Kane and Watkins. Now Kane obviously likes to come a bit deeper. Sometimes, Gareth Southgate describes it as being too deep, but Ollie Watkins makes those runs, and it's gonna be a combined effort from Romero and Dyer, maybe even Davis, like all three of them, because his finishing is not great, but his attacking movement, his finishing isn't great. He's not the most complete striker, but one thing he does have is pace and movement. His attacking movement, the way he can dummy a defender without the ball at his feet and sort of make that run in behind, is one of the best in the Premier League, in my opinion. From a striker, I'm not talking about like wingers, but from a striker, his attacking movement is sensational. So he's definitely one to watch out for. Danny Ings, I don't know if he's playing. I'm not really keeping up with the fitness of the Villa squad, so I don't actually know who's fit and who's not. But if Danny Ings, his finishing ability, he can score a goal from pretty much anywhere. And we all know Coutinho's quality. We've watched him tear Tottenham a new one on multiple occasions as a Liverpool player. So we all know about his quality. And I guess maybe Buendia and Bailey. I don't know the injury situation, but I think we all know the real danger is Ashley Young.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, maybe putting it in his own net. I don't know about putting it in our net, but we'll see. Mikey, what's your score prediction then for the weekend?
I've come to realize that I don't like making score predictions because I always get them wrong, and then when my girlfriend gets them right, she laughs in my face. So it's kind of, but.
So what are you going for?
Okay. I'm gonna go for I'm predicting Kane to score. Definitely, I think Kane will score. For some reason, I see Matt Doherty putting in another stellar performance. I think him getting either.
Look, Mikey, have we gone offline?
No, I don't think.
You're
so.
sick. Oh, we're back. I think we're back. All right, sorry about that. Yep, keep going.
That's okay. So yeah, I'm worried about Tyrone Mings elbowing Harry Kane in the face now. I'll definitely predict 3-1 Kane, Son, and if Doherty doesn't score, Doherty will get an assist, and I think Kulu will get back on the score sheet because I know he's been in great form, but he hasn't scored for it since the Leeds game, I think. So
that's right. Yeah, that's right.
I predict Kulu to get a goal as well. So yeah.
All right, Mikey. Looking forward to it. Nice to see you as always, and we'll see you soon.
Cheers, Mikey.
County Spurs. Ahmed Hassan Laskar has sent a super chat saying, a proper wing back and a good centre back, we can be challenging for the title. Optimistic, but is that all we need?
No, we need more than that. We need a minimum of 2 wing backs, one left, one right, minimum. We need another centre back for certain, possibly 2. We need another centre midfielder and at least 2 more forwards to upgrade on Bergwijn and Moura. Not that I dislike them, but we can do better.
In terms of if you want to start challenging for a title.
Exactly,
yeah.
for challenging for that. And also another goalkeeper as well, backup goalie.
You're up against Liverpool, who have probably, you could argue, have 4 forwards who might get into our team.
Absolutely.
Salah, Mane, Diaz and Jota, all unbelievable.
Absolutely.
And when you've got Bergwijn and Moura, as much as they're decent squad players, they're probably decent for a top 4 challenge.
Yeah. But not what you need for a
title.
title. Yeah,
That's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, the things that the positions he's highlighted are necessary, but we need more than just that.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. Let's see what Iggy has to think about these things. Let's bring him on.
You see, it's my twin.
You're not as great as him, though.
Yeah, I know. It actually, in truth, Iggy is just basically me in a couple of years.
Iggy, how are we doing, my man? Thanks for coming on.
I'm good. How are you guys? How are you?
Really good, man. Good to see you.
I was actually listening to you guys on my drive, and I was finishing work, and I got home, and I thought you guys are still on, and I thought, right, now's the time, because I never get the opportunity because you guys are normally on when I'm working. So now today I finished a bit early, and I have got the opportunity, and here I am. Good to be on here, guys.
So I knew someone was praying for our technical difficulties. It seemed to be Iggy.
It worked. What can I say? It worked in my favour.
You delayed us on purpose, didn't you, Iggy? So you could get on the call.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Brilliant. Yeah, look, Iggy, it's a big game this weekend, isn't it?
Undoubtedly.
Yeah, and look, Villa Park, never the easiest place to go, but you got to be confident going into the weekend that we got good momentum going in our favour. And look, we're playing very well at the moment, but you can't take Villa too lightly, can you?
No, absolutely. I know. You know what? I always tend to worry a little bit when we go into any games too confident. Don't get me wrong. I understand that they've been on a run of 3 defeats, and we have picked up 3 wins at the same time. So there is a level of confidence. Our team is better than theirs. No doubt, no two ways about that. But I think you know, and you got, you know, you factor in the fact that we've training all week for the first time since international duty. So it's all positive, and you know, it's all going in the right direction as we always hoped. But you know, Villa Park, you know, their crowd is going to be up for it. It's an evening game. Although we've got a very, very good record there, it has to be said. We cannot take it lightly, and I've always like people to, and especially us Spurs fans, to take one game at a time, not to think too far ahead, but just think in the here and now. That's how I like to. But having said that, whilst I respect the opponent, but I do think we've got enough about us to go and win there well.
I think so too. Yeah. I mean, in terms of the opposition, Iggy, I asked this of Mikey. Obviously, we know Philippe Coutinho can be a threat. We discussed it earlier as well. He highlighted Ollie Watkins. What's your thoughts on him? I mean, does he come across as a real threat to Spurs? Can we contain him? Should we look to contain him? What's your thoughts on Watkins?
Watkins is a good player. You saw him on the international duty for England. How he scored. So he's going to be confident. He's in a confident. His team may not be in a good moment, but he is. But I trust our defence enough. I say when I say things like that,
right? That's it.
But I do trust them as a group because I think they've been playing really well. I think defensively we've been solid, and I trust Dyer, who I think is probably going to be the one, I imagine, picking up, and Romero combined to deal with that threat. In regards to Coutinho works well in between the lines, doesn't it? So we have to be defensively as a unit attentively, not to give too many spaces in between the lines where he can pick up the ball and actually cause a threat. So I trust in Højbjerg and Bentancur to sort of be aware of where he is, especially if he's slipping in, if he plays in the 10 role, to actually be attentive in those situations. To not give him too much space to attack our defence, which we've done. To be honest, we've done that pretty well because we had the similar sort of threat from Saint-Maximin, and we know what happened to him. And similar to Fraser on the opposite side last week, Newcastle. Although it's a different proposition, and yes, Aston Villa at home, I think we've got enough about that to deal with their danger threat for sure.
If you looking at our sort of last 5, I think it's 5 we've conceded. Is that right, Sim? In the last 5?
The last 5.
3 of which would have been Man United. So what do you credit this sort of more defensive solidity that we've had, Iggy? Because obviously our defence, apart from Romero coming in, we've still got the likes of Dyer and Davis in there, which we've had lots of discussion about within the Spurs fan base, lots of divided opinion. What do you credit this sort of defensive solidity to?
Our spine has gained consistency. So we've had partnership developing all over the pitch. We've had the 3 at the back, the 2 in the middle, the 3 forwards. That centre has built momentum, and having playing together and continuously to play together, they develop that understanding and that know-how. And that's been the massive point, because do you remember at the beginning, we was always changing teams, we was always changing pairings, we didn't know which 11 was going to be fielded from week to week. But since Conte's come in, he's certainly, although, listen, it has to be said, our squad is not the biggest, so the choices are not a great what's the word I'm looking for? They're not vast. But what we have done, we have created partnerships. So you've got the Romero, Doherty, and Kulusevski. That side there has developed really well. The left side, of course, since when Regular was there, you got Son plays. They've got a brilliant understanding. Bentancur and Højbjerg, although it's just been them two available because of Skip's injury, they've all of a sudden just got a better understanding of each other, and defence, and including Luis, have been brilliant together. So we have created partnerships all over the pitch, which has given us the consistency and also, of course, when you get the results as well to go with it, it makes you mentally stronger. And game by game basis, it seems to have come together. But you know what, the guys, and I'm glad Conte mentioned it in the press conference that you guys had on earlier on. Even the likes of the words that he said to Matt Doherty, and that must be music to everyone's ears, listening to that, because he has praised his professionality. He has praised that he wasn't in the fact that he wasn't in the team. He wasn't even considered when Conte arrived, but with his sheer hard work, understanding, and listening to the manager, he's gained that first team start, and that was also an indirect message to Lo Celso. If these little things, you do start to pick up how Conte works. He's telling you, listen, you're not good enough right now, but if you do this, that, and the other, you can get in the team. And no player at Tottenham moving forward will be getting in the team without hard work, without being intact physically, without knowing that the Premier League is an intense league. And physically you have to be really good and be ready for that. So I'm confident in the players that we have. We cannot afford to lose anybody along the way. We know that for a fact, given how thin our squad is. But everything is in place now to really go at it in the summer. I know you mentioned 7-8 players. Well, that's going to be tough, Rez, to get eight players in.
Yeah,
but if we could start making a start, even, do you know what? Let's start saying there's even 4 really good players. We will then be in the right trajectory as to what we want to achieve moving forward.
Excellent. Yeah.
Iggy, left wing back on Saturday. Sessegnon and Reguilon are now both.
I thought you was playing me. I thought you was going to play me left wing back. I was like, don't do that. I thought you said Iggy left wing back. I was like, whoa, don't say that.
You get stripped off. You were getting the call up on Saturday.
We were considering it, but then we wanted to give Villa a chance, so we decided to drop
Rez, the way I've been putting away them Nutella biscuits of late,
I know, mate.
That is the worst choice ever.
Yeah, man. They're something else. I'll say that. They are definitely something else.
Tell me, sorry, Sim.
Well, who do you pick? Both have a good shout to be the number 1 left wing back and a good shout to be picked on Saturday. Who do you go with?
If Reguilon is fit and good to go, I'll play Reguilon on the left and I'll go with Doherty on the right. No doubt in my mind.
Why is that? You think he's well clear of Sessegnon at the moment?
Sess, do you know what it is? Sess, I'm not. Listen, Sess is a good player. I've never doubted Sess's quality. I thought in that 5-6 game run he was doing really well, but I don't know. It's been out for a little while though, hasn't he, Sim? And certainly longer than Reggie has. I just think Reggie slots in better for this sort of performances, and I think we'll get more of a. I don't know. There's something about Reggie I prefer right now to Sess. I just think it's too big a game to Sess has also just come back, and I don't think he's quite ready for this game. I think they rushed him back to have him available, but not actually. I don't think he's been considered to start. But Reggie is, and if Reggie is fit, for me, there's no 2 ways I'm playing Doherty left back. I'm playing him where he should be playing, and also because I'm not really a huge fan of Emerson, as well as he did last week, and I'm glad that. He got his goal and everything else. Doherty on that right hand side has been brilliant, and I think he's formed a really good understanding, both with Romero defensively and then attacking with Kulusevski. So do you know what? You got to go with percentages. Football is all about percentages, and percentages give you the highest rate of winning. So the higher percentages in your combinations in the team, the higher the probabilities of you winning. So I'm going with Reggie and Doherty. If it was up to me, of course.
All right.
One final question, Iggy. Panettone, Colomba, or Pandoro?
This is the big one.
You can only have one.
I'm not mad on Panettone. As you know, I like my chocolate. So Colomba is there, but I love Pandora. And at Christmas, I always have Pandora. I don't know if that's answered your question.
Excellent.
Not quite.
So you know already what we're going to be eating at Christmas.
Yes, absolutely.
Brilliant. Lovely, Iggy. Score prediction quickly.
3-1 Spurs. It's 3-1 Spurs. Yeah.
3-1. All right.
stuff.
Confident again. Nice one, Iggy. Good to see you, my friend.
Take care, guys. Thanks for
coming
having us on.
Thanks.
Take care,
one,
boys. Bye-bye now.
Cheers. Nice one there from Iggy. Good to have him on. And from one legend to the other, let's get Barry on the stream.
Hey.
Yes, Barry. How we doing, my man?
What's up, man? Very brightly lit, isn't he?
Yeah, very bright. Loving the lighting, Barry. Only for a movie star. You got that. All natural.
Yeah. Well,
Love it.
I've finally recovered after the Newcastle game, ready for another.
I thought you were going to say after being pushed down the cliff by Janine, you finally recovered.
Finally recovered from that cliff. I've crawled my way back up.
Yep. It took 15 years, but he made it.
Yeah. But no, look, I think everyone's got it spot on. I think this team. There is something inside so strong, and we are there. We're one game at a time, like I've said. But look, the togetherness in this squad at the moment is absolutely fantastic, and I can't wait for tomorrow. I'm not going into tomorrow feeling nervous. I think it's going to be a comfortable win and exciting. I'm excited, and I can't wait to be. It's unheard of for us to be excited like this.
What makes you so confident, Barry? You just think the way we're playing at the moment is the way Villa are playing at the moment as well, giving you that confidence, or is there anything that worries you about Villa at the moment with the quality they have?
No, I think Rez touched on it earlier in the fact that they've had the initial bounce, and Gerrard's trying to find out what that best 11 is. And I think they're going through that dodgy patch. Yes, they have players that can hurt us, but I think, after what happened second half against Newcastle, we come out and we just, we take this game by the scruff of the neck, get it done early, get some players rested, and another week of, and then another week before the next game. Conte's got the luxury of having plenty of time to spend with the players. So let's, get the business done early and get out there with the 3 points and easy. It's easy when we say it like that, right? But
yeah, easy, simply. Yeah, I wish every game was as simple.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, it wasn't looking so simple at half time against Newcastle last week.
No.
Let's just put it that way, because we were saying oh, Sim's chosen a good game to not be here because this is absolutely horrendous, and then 45 minutes just turned the game on its head. So if we can have the second half performance of Newcastle, Villa, I don't think, they're not really playing for anything. I don't think there's no real point to be proven. And we just need to get the 3 points and then we move on. We move on to Brighton. And the most important thing on Saturday, apart from the 3 points, is Romero doesn't get booked, because then everything gets wiped and he's not suspended. He can't get suspended then.
I think he needs 2 bookings, doesn't he?
I think so.
Yeah, 2 away.
Yeah,
so
but he gets reset after Brighton. So
I see. So if he gets booked, then he could get a booking.
Right. So there's 2 games before. Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
So, I wouldn't put it past Romero getting two bookings in one game. I would not put it past him.
Although, would you believe he came through the last game? He came through Newcastle
without a booking.
Brilliant.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it was very good.
Unheard of. look, Barry, the overall scope of top four got a bit of a shake-up on Monday night. How are you looking at it at the moment in terms of the race?
What I've said is one game at a time. We can't get carried away. Let's not worry about what I think, and I think Bob Spurs said it. I think there's 3 losses for Arsenal before they come to us. They've had one, so there's definitely one more because they've got to play Chelsea, West Ham, Leeds,
Man United,
Man United.
then
Southampton
us,
away.
right?
Yeah, difficult.
So there's definitely. I think there's definitely 2 more. But we need to take care of business. We can't. Everything is potentially within our hands now with the goal difference as well. We just need to go out there, and Liverpool will really be when we get to Liverpool. That will be the kind of the real kind of marker of where everyone is and kind of form. If we're still there, and we've not lost, and we've won all the games we get to Liverpool, then. I think a lot of sides fancy us now. Just looking at on the 5,000 WhatsApp groups that I'm in is that people are like the media, right? That I don't want Spurs to get top 4. I don't want Spurs to get top 4, or why are you piping up because Spurs are playing well and all, do you know what I mean? So it's we do something to the media and we do something to the other teams' fans that they worry about us. So I think they're genuinely worried about us because we've scored the most goals this calendar year. We've taken the most points apart from Liverpool. So look, hey, with the squad that we've got and what Conte's done, that people are worried and rightly so. They should be worried, but it's just that narrative, that media narrative, the fans narrative, and look, we just need to take care of business, and that's what And I think we've got the one thing that we haven't particularly had. If we've had where we've got the manager who's got that experience in the business end of the season, right? So we've before we've been playing well. Maybe the other teams around us haven't been playing as well, and we've got top 4 comfortably, but in a race that's it's not going to be done. It's not going to be done. In the next couple of games, Conte's there, and he's the bless you, Sim.
Thank you.
He's the man that that is there with the business end of the season, and we just need. I think we also just start needing to believe, not get carried away, like Mikey said, but let's start believing. Let's start enjoying it because look, we've had a tough time since that Champions League final. So you've got to have the rough with the smooth and we've got a bit of the smooth at the moment, so let's enjoy it.
Barry, just a quick question for you. A lot of people have been saying that they see more cohesion and more sort of togetherness in our squad. Are we, or in your opinion, how close are we to that sort of Poch, one big family vibe that we had back in the sort of late 2010s?
I think we're not far off. I mean, the results on the pitch are certainly helping. I think the way that we celebrated the goals against Newcastle showed that everyone was together. I mean, I don't think I saw it, and I think I said this on one of the many streams that I've been on, that Sonny didn't do his usual celebration, and there was the
He did that, didn't he?
Did he?
Pretty sure he did that to the camera on Sunday.
Maybe
against Newcastle.
Maybe
I'm pretty sure he did. I'm pretty sure he did.
I was too involved, jumping up and down probably, and getting involved, so I didn't see it.
We've talked about that before, Barry.
Yeah, sorry.
Come on.
But the one thing I saw was him holding the heart sign up to the crowd. So, yeah, look, I think the support from the fans is there. The love from the squad is there. I just hope that, when we get back to when we get to the summer, and, I think at least then Ndombele's coming back. I mean, I don't know if he'll come back. They'll just ship him straight out again. But I think they've got rid of the people that were having the effect on the squad. And yeah, I think we're nearly there. And with what we saw at the weekend, 5 goals. Kane didn't score anything, but was just an absolute beast. All over the park. I just think that we're nearly there. If we get top 4, it comes at the end of the season. We get top 4. Conte and Kane are going nowhere. I firmly believe that. And then it's time to, then it's time to dream. Then it's time to see what we can do. And I think you're right, Rez. We need 8 players, but 4 would be a start. And let's not, let's not go and waste money, right? So if we need to, Tielemans is available for 25 million. Let's go, go and get someone like that. Let's not go and waste 50, 60, 70 million on the next one for the future. So, yeah, it's exciting times. And I think we need to, we need to just embrace it and just really enjoy it while it lasts, and go and get 3 points, add 2 or 3 more goals to that goal difference. Wouldn't it be lovely if old Graham Potter does the business on Arsenal as well before we even play? And that would just be sensational. But hey, look, we take care of business. Let's not worry about everyone else. One game at a time, and then let's see where we end up.
Yeah, we can hope. Barry, Reguilon or Sessegnon?
Well, I obviously there's that underlying thing that I think Reggie's off in the summer, and that's why Sess has been given the opportunity. It's almost like a 2-person shootout for that position. I would say Reggie, purely because driving forward. I mean, he hasn't got that final ball, but in terms of driving forward and that pace, we need that, I think, in terms of Saturday's game, and obviously Doherty on the right. But then, hey, give them both their dues. Doherty on the left and Emerson on the right. They had a dodgy first 15, 20 minutes. I wouldn't be surprised if he even keeps it the way he kept it for Newcastle. You never know.
Wow.
Just because they're fit, you never know. So, but for me, it's Reggie over Sess. But I think that we need to strengthen that area probably more than the right wing back in the summer. First of all. So. And
prediction?
3-0 Spurs.
3-0.
I'm with Daigle. Yeah, I'm
Very
with
nice.
Daigle on this one. So I've said that I got it kind of right last week. I said we'd win 2-1 and we concede first. Well, we conceded first, but no one quite predicted when it was 2-1 and then 3-1, then 4-1.
A bit more than 2.
5-1. So I think 3-0. We get the 3 points. It's a comfortable evening's work, and we go again against Brighton.
All right, loving the confidence, Barry. Always good to see you, my man. And see you tomorrow on the watch along. He's going to be with Henry Wright TV, so make sure you're all tuning in to see Barry's live reactions. Hopefully he's not too engrossed in the action like he is at the games. Hopefully he can concentrate on what's going on.
Just remember, Barry, there's delicate equipment, so you can't sort of bounce around too much. I've seen you. I've seen what you do.
No standing on the table if we score, Barry, all right?
I literally flip the table up, give it the big rod, come on! I'll have to be reserved tomorrow. So looking forward to that tomorrow. Enjoy the game, Sim and Ben. Hope you're feeling better. And Rez, good to see you as always.
And you, matey.
And,
all right,
come on, you Spurs.
All right, Barry.
Brilliant.
Good to see you, my man. Okay. That was good to see Barry. And obviously, go check out the watch along tomorrow. He is going to be live with Henry Wright. So that is a must see. So go check that out. Got a super chat here from Faz Rudfire. So I said, I loved the cuddle between the 3 defenders and Lloris at the end. 100%.
Yeah.
That was also really good, and
very nice to see. Absolutely.
Yeah, they're starting to get a good rapport. I think the back 3 and the keeper. All right, are we ready? Not quite ready for the next guest just yet. We'll get him on in a sec. Mr. Bazaby says Barry's a good guy. I'm glad you see what we all see. Mr.
Absolutely.
Bazaby, 100%.
Absolutely.
Pure effing vintage says Skip is more attacking, Pierre more defensive. Well, I don't know about that.
Yeah,
I think Pierre's more attacking
I
than
think
Skip.
so too. Yeah, I
it's
think
the
so
opposite.
too. I mean, that's not to say that Skip doesn't have the ability to pass. His passing is actually very good, but I think Højbjerg is more naturally an attacking player than we've employed him at Spurs or actually at Southampton as well before us. I think Skip is much more a classic sort of English, defensive midfielder. What I call the midfield destroyer is my view of him.
All right, let's bring on the next guest, and I'm sure you'll recognise this guy. Let's bring him on. It's my brother. Come on. How we doing? You off somewhere? Got your seatbelt on?
Well, let me take that off actually, because I'm just arriving back. I just went. I got to move my car from 2 till 3 at mine, so I just went quickly for a quick walk around.
The perils of public
and nice
parking.
empty parks to take the dog.
Lovely.
How are you, Ben? You all right?
Yeah, I'm all good. I mean, I feel back to normal pretty much now, but the test is still positive, so I still got to miss the game tomorrow, apparently.
Damn it. That's
big shame. But
good news that you're feeling better, but bad news about the game.
Yeah. Definitely good news. I'm feeling better, so I get to watch the game in high spirits tomorrow.
Good.
All right. Look. It's a big important game, though, isn't it? And it's going to be. It's probably going to be difficult, but are you confident that we'll go to Villa Park and get the result?
I mean, it's a place where we've had a lot of joy in the past, isn't it, Villa Park? I mean, I don't think we've lost there in a very long time.
That's right.
But having said that, I think that it's important to stay grounded. It's important to keep on the right path. I think that Villa is a team that have got a lot of quality in their starting lineup. So we got to be wary of what they can bring. I think the last couple of games, it has seemed as though maybe they could be on the beach or whatever. But in a one-off game, you got to be wary of the quality that they have because, Coutinho, Ramsey, Ings, Watkins, they've got a lot of quality in that team and they can give anyone a game. So we need to keep our wits about us and we need to keep the same mentality that we have done in the past couple of games.
Yeah, and I completely agree. It's going to be very, very important that we keep up the standards that we've set over the past 8 games since playing Man City because we seem to have found that consistency. And if we don't get the result on Saturday, all the doubts start to creep back in again whether we can keep up that consistency from now to the end of the season. Do you think, what happens at the Emirates earlier in the day will have an effect on what happens at Villa Park?
I hope not. I hope they're not really watching it or not taking any notice of it because I think that we just have to really concentrate on ourselves. And if we do what we need to do and we do it well, then we should get our rewards for it. I mean, everyone keeps saying game by game and only concentrate on ourselves, but everyone knows full well that we'll be all watching the game 3 o'clock on Saturday for hopefully a repeat of Monday night.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely. And I completely agree with that. It's going to be in terms of Villa though on Saturday. They got the likes of Coutinho, the likes of Ings, Watkins, Leon Bailey, Bertrand Traore, John McGinn's a good player. Ramsey's having a good season. Where do you pinpoint for you where you think they can really hurt us, or where you're worried about?
Set pieces as always. Set pieces is our kryptonite. They've got a good ball delivery with Coutinho. I mean, they've got players like Mings as well from the centre-back positions that can really hurt us from set pieces. So that's where I'm really, most wary of anyone really that play against us, just because we're so and have been so frail from set pieces this season and, previous seasons as well under Jose Mourinho. So I think that set piece is number one. But I think they can hurt us all over the pitch, really, with the quality that they have. I really believe that. But set pieces for me is number one.
Just a question on squad cohesion that we've talked about before. Lo Celso and Ndombele Hill, in terms of squad togetherness only, not in terms of necessarily their application or anything like that, do they have a place in any future Spurs squad for you, Ben?
Ndombele, no. Lo Celso, probably no. Bryan Hill is a question mark just because he only joined at the beginning of this season. So I would like to separate him from that kind of thing. But when you're looking at Lo Celso and Ndombele, I really don't think that they've got a place in this squad. I think they've got the quality to have a place in this squad, but In terms of squad togetherness, I just don't see them fitting in. I mean, we heard those rumours about Lo Celso, how he didn't really have that many friends around the squad and that kind of thing. Ndombele had his own issues. So I'd like to just see them move on now. I really would. Like I said, I really believe in terms of their quality, but we've seen as soon as they've gone out the door, the squad has just gelled together. We look like a real squad now. We look like we're all singing off the same hymn sheet, and we look like we are getting back to this kind of squad togetherness as what we had under Pochettino, what made us so strong.
So for you, is it just irrelevant how well they do? Is it just about getting as much money as possible? They could have the most amazing loan spell, but it won't change your opinion.
Absolutely. You see both of them. I watched the game last night. I thought Tanguy was their best player, Lyon's best player yesterday, got himself a goal. And the game before that, the night before, Villarreal, Lo Celso got man of the match. So it's irrelevant for me what they do on their loan spells. For me, it's just about them doing well on their loan spells equates to more money for us and more targets that we can bring in.
I think if Ndombele knocks West Ham out of Europa League, it's probably all going to be worth it.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah. He would have done something for Spurs at last.
Exactly. Best achievement of Tottenham.
Just to extend the point a little bit, the question I've got, though, this is the thing that confuses me, is that obviously at the end of the season there'll be a break, but these players will have to come back to Spurs.
Yeah.
At some point, how do you handle them? What do you do with these three players? Let's say take Gil out of the equation. Gil, we've got no issue with, but Ndombele and Lo Celso, do they train with the first team until we can arrange a loan for them? Do they train with the under-23s? I mean, where do you put them?
Look, in my mind, you've got to sort out that transfer before they come back for pre-season, in my opinion. That would be the most ideal. And if we can't do that, then it's a very difficult one. It is a difficult one. I'm not sure which way you go. I mean, if they come and train with the squad, is it going to leave a bit of a bad feeling within the squad? Or will the squad just think about it and being like, look, these guys are on their way out, so it doesn't really matter too much. I'm not too sure which way you're going to look at it. But ideally, we get these players out before they come back for pre-season. I think that would be the most ideal scenario, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but the rumours are that Leon aren't going to sign Ndombele permanently. So if that's the case, it's going to be very difficult, isn't it, to organise
That's just one
transfer.
player, though. At least like the noises are coming out of Villarreal saying that they want to sign him.
Can they afford him? Can they afford Lo Celso?
If they win the Champions League, hopefully.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It depends. It depends what our ask. Are we going to ask for what we got for him? What, 45, 55 million? Is that what we're going to ask for?
I reckon around the 30 ballpark, something like that.
Yeah.
And if Villarreal qualify back to the Champions League this year, there's no reason why they can't afford him, I don't think.
Yeah, no, but they're seventh in their league at the moment. So whether they'll get Champions League, I know they're doing very well in the Champions League, but whether they'll be there next season, obviously it's difficult to
qualify.
Mate, Unai's at the
win
wheel,
it.
mate. Don't count them out, mate.
Good evening.
Good evening. Exactly. Yeah, look, he's doing great. Look, there's a big selection headache for Conte on Saturday in regards to left wing back position. Who would you like to see him pick?
I think he's going to go with whoever's the most fit out of the two. But if they were probably at equal fitness, I think I might side just a bit with Sessegnon, to be honest. I think Sessegnon, for me, I feel like he's got a bit more composure in that final third. I know Reguilon's probably got pace on him and he's probably got more experience on him, but I actually think that when we've seen them both play over the last month, 2 months, there's not too much in it, to be fair, but I just side with Sessegnon just that little bit, because you see when Reguilon gets in the final third, he can be a bit erratic and, flies one over, doesn't put good crosses in most time. But when Sessegnon gets in that final third, I feel like there is just that bit more kind of composure about him. So there's not too much in it between the two, and I wouldn't mind either of them starting, but I think I just slightly side with Sessegnon.
But Reguilon gets there more, so it's kind of give
exactly.
and take, isn't there?
Which one you prefer, I don't really know. But like I said, I don't think there's too much in it between the two, to be fair.
Yeah.
And who out of the two is the future of Tottenham? If you had to only pick one.
Only pick one, the future of Tottenham.
Or has a future at Tottenham?
That's a very difficult question. I think that from what they've both shown in a Spurs shirt, you've probably got to say Reguilon has got a bigger future than Sessegnon. But I really believe in Sessegnon, and I really believe that just because his injuries have made him so stop-start at Tottenham. I think that if he had an extended run in the team, I think we might see a bit more from Sessegnon. So it's a very hard question just because of Sessegnon's injury record that we haven't seen him enough.
Yeah,
Makes
that's the
sense.
thing. All right, what's your prediction then going into Saturday? What do you reckon is going to happen?
1-0 Brighton.
1-0 Brighton. Great prediction. Love it.
No, I'm joking. 2-0 Spurs. 2-0 Spurs. Kane and Kulusevski I'm going for. I think that if we can hold them out from set pieces, if we can hit them early, I think it can be a bit of a routine win. But like always, I think if we take our time to get into the game and we give Villa a bit of hope, I think it can get a bit nervy. But if we hit them early, I think we can have a bit of a routine win this weekend. But like I said, we got to keep grounded, stay grounded, take every game as it comes. And if we win this game, can build even more of a platform, 4 wins in a row, take that into the Brighton game and see where we can go from there.
Yeah,
All
I think
right,
that's spot on.
positive stuff. Nice one, Ben. Enjoy the game at home tomorrow. Sad to not see you in either in the studio or on the ground, but I'm sure you'll be enjoying it nonetheless. But yeah, nice to see you.
Definitely.
you're
Big
feeling
up to
better.
you guys in the studio. Big up, Rez. I hope you're keeping my seat warm over there.
I'm doing my best.
Nice one. I'll
right.
see you all soon. I see Jory in the background looking very cool. So
Ah, the Joracle. Big up to him. Let's do it.
See you
Take
later,
care, Ben.
guys.
Get
See you,
well
Ben.
soon, mate.
Cheers.
All right, we have to make the next few ones quick because we're running out of time. But let's bring Michael on. Hey, Michael, you all right?
Hi, Michael.
Yeah. Yes, I'm fine. Although health is not fine a bit because, I have a sore throat and runny
Oh,
nose
no, not
and
you as
shit.
well.
Yeah, I was about to ask how Ben is feeling, but I see that he's better than me, so
No need to feel bad for him. Michael, look, important game coming into the weekend.
Yes.
Big game in the top 4 race as well. Are you confident that we can get the job done?
Yeah, so a funny story about Villa. One of my older cousins moved to England like 12 or 15 years ago, and she lived in Coventry. Well, she does live in Coventry, and she married a man who was a Villa fan. And actually, Aston Villa was one of the first teams outside of like the most famous English teams that I knew of that existed. So as a like 12-year-old kid, I had a bit of a soft spot for Villa. That doesn't change the fact that I want us to absolutely smash them.
Of course.
Like no mercy. But the way I see this match is that I think that both in attacking and in defensive thirds we have enough quality to keep Villa at bay, and I think that we also have enough quality to punch through their defenses, even though their defense is kind of stacked. Looking at at the club of a stature of Villa. Luka Digne, Matikash, who, by the way, is an honorary Polish player, right?
Yeah, that's right.
But I feel like this game will be tough, especially because they want to bounce back after like 3 straight defeats. But I feel like we'll have enough quality and we'll manage. So I'm not really scared because like you asked me, Sim, if I'm scared about this game. I'm not confident, but I'm not scared either. So just calmly approaching the game, willing to see a good passage of play, and just a positive score.
All right. Brilliant. And look, in the top 4 race in general, how you think we're shaping up right now, and all against our rivals as well.
Yeah, so similarly to what I said last time, I think that we have to be cautious about saying who has the advantage, who doesn't have the advantage, because, one bad loss to Villa and Arsenal winning with Brighton, and suddenly we are back to score 0 and score 1, sorry, and everything flips on its head. So just cautiously approaching each game. And just focus on us, focus on winning, but do not let that take away the enjoyment of watching the game, because this team is really enjoyable to watch, both play wise and character wise. And quickly also on our returning players, I would honestly prefer if Regi started, just because his injury was less serious and he was out for less time than Ses. And I also think I would say something maybe a bit controversial.
Oh. I'm going to say something controversial, and then he absolutely.
And then he just let. Maybe he's self-censoring.
Although he's back, he's back.
I'm really sorry, guys. I don't know what happened, but yeah. So speaking of controversial, I actually think that many people might not like it, but I don't think that Skip should start a game. I mean, in the first 11 until the end of the season, just because I think that Højbjerg and Bentancur have this partnership sorted out for now, and I wouldn't want to break it apart. And also, I don't think that it would be fair to Højbjerg if we was hooked off immediately after Skip came back.
Yeah.
So I feel like Skip should just fill the role of a sub until the end of the season, and then from the next season, of course, start him. Let him work on his condition and let him work on himself with a squad during the summer. So I feel like Skip should be a sub until the end of the season. And yeah, I just hope that Seagulls smash Arsenal tomorrow, and we smash Villa, and that's all I care about pretty much. And of course, I will watch the Liverpool City game because it will be spicy.
Should be a very, very, very good game. So, Michael, what's your prediction then going into Saturday?
I think that we can have a clean sheet, and their defense isn't as leaky as like Newcastle's or Everton's. So I think like 2-0 is a fair score in my opinion. But I wouldn't be surprised if we lost one goal. But I don't think we'll lose more than one. So if we score 2 goals, we are winning this game definitely. But just don't let just score goals and don't let concede more than one, and we'll be fine. In my opinion.
Super.
Good prediction. Nice positivity, Michael. Good to see you, my man. And we'll see you very soon.
Yeah, see you soon.
Thanks
Bye,
for
guys.
calling in. Cheers.
Take care.
All right, couple more callers left for the day. Well, let's get KPV on. The man, the myth, the legend. How are you doing, KPV?
I'm good, my friend. How are you doing?
Great to see you. Got the Spurs shirt on today.
Yeah, got last season home shirt with Bale on the back. Got Gareth Wales. Yeah, Gareth Bale.
Would you take him back, Kyle?
Hell yeah! Obviously I want him back after that masterclass last week for Wales. So why not? And I obviously want them in our group at the World Cup because obviously I don't want Scotland, because we drew at Wembley in the Euros, so I don't want Scotland. I'd rather have Bale. Sorry. Yeah.
Damn right.
Yeah.
Carl, Villa on Saturday. What were you thinking?
Obviously we have a good record there. We've never lost. Martin and Wayne.
We've never lost at Villa Park.
No, we've not never lost.
We must have lost at some point. Surely.
Yeah. We haven't lost since 2013 at Villa Park, I believe.
That's a long time to be fair.
No, hold on. We never lost there. We beat them twice. Bale scored. I believe we done a double over Villa that time, but in his last season.
Yeah, last season. Yeah, no, we're talking overall in terms of all the times that we've played Villa.
All times we played Villa. I'm pretty
we
sure
have lost at Villa Park before, yeah, but not recently.
Not recently.
Yeah.
I believe we beat them in when we had AVB. I'm on about. That was Bale's last season before we went.
That's right. Yeah, Madrid.
That's right.
So, but yeah, I know we haven't lost there since 2013, but okay, but. We're pretty much unbeaten there since they got promoted.
That's right.
Yes, since then. In fact, 100% record since they've been promoted at Villa Park.
So are we going to keep it up then?
Yeah, of course. like I said the other day, I say the same score as the score, like 5-0, but they'll probably score. But I want a clean sheet, so I'm sticking with it. 5-0, and the same players to score. The three defenders, Doherty. Well, I believe Davis got first, then Doherty, then Son, then Emerson Royale, then Bergwijn. But yeah, three defenders to go on the score sheet. Like, yeah, so why not? Maybe give Dyer a chance to score before Brighton and Brentford, then I don't know, then Arsenal, then yeah,
Maybe
why
from a
not?
free
Why?
kick. Dyer from a free kick, perhaps.
Why not?
Why not? Like
He's got the ability.
he's got the ability. Like yeah, Dyer, he hasn't scored
So
one
Dyer
since
as well. So Davis, Dyer, Doherty, and
No, it's got to be Nick Davis, Dyer, and Romero.
Okay.
Like,
I might have to put some money on that, Kyle, if you're so sure.
I'll see what I can do, mate. But yeah,
Have a word
like,
with them.
Yeah.
well, maybe, but yeah, who are you captaining this weekend? Who are you going to captain?
Oh, I'm captaining Human Son. He's my star man.
Yeah,
Mr.
like
Tottenham.
I've got Son, Kane, and Kulusevski, so I'll probably captain Ronaldo. And I posted on Instagram about a picture of Doherty and Son. Like, read what Doherty said. I believe you saw it on our group chat on Instagram.
I'll take a look what Doherty said.
He said, "Why would I want to go anywhere but Tottenham?" And he said he didn't come close to leaving in January. That's what I
Right.
posted. But yeah, hopefully another 5-0 win. Then we'll on Brighton and Brentford. So see where we can go from there. Then
And
I believe
prediction for Arsenal, Kyle, against Brighton?
2-1 Brighton again, because I believe someone said Graham Potter's never lost to them.
Is that right?
Yeah.
To Arsenal.
Interesting.
He's
Since
never
he
lost to
played in-
Arsenal?
Amazing.
Yeah,
That's impressive if that's true.
Yeah.
yeah. And like Mopé always seems to turn up against them, don't he?
He does.
Makes a change.
I believe he was the one that actually tackled Leno after the restart 2 years ago, and Leno was not happy. But Mopé to score against them again, like 2-1 Brighton. Then, but I don't want Arsenal going above us if they were to draw and we win. Like goal difference, I don't think they'll go above us because of goal difference. Is it?
No, they won't. We're above them on goal difference, so they need
But
to.
they
If they
won't.
get a draw, they'll be above us temporarily until we play. So
Until we play, yeah.
I don't even like that. I don't even like that. Half an hour ahead of us. I don't like
Yeah.
it.
I don't know. I hope not, man. But
Exactly.
yeah, I hope
All right.
not. Because, yeah, so 5-0, and yeah, then we'll see where we go from there. A clean sheet, then that's gonna be amazing. Roll on the next few games, and Liverpool. Like, why can't we get a draw at Anfield? We took points off them earlier in this season. Like, Robertson still deserved the red card from tackling Emerson Royale. Like, he should have even got a red card anyway, but Kane didn't go off because he jumped over Robertson. Robertson deserved the red. So hopefully history can repeat itself. If that does happen again, then VR need to take a good look at themselves if they don't give Robertson a red, because who cares about him? Like, let's not worry about what happens tomorrow in the Arsenal-Brighton game. Like Barry said, we need to do our job and win our remaining games. And let's do this. I'm going
All right.
5-0. And as always,
5-0.
Levy out.
Big up to you, Kyle.
Nice
nice to
one,
see you, my
Kyle.
man. Cheers for calling
See you
in.
the
We'll see you
weekend.
very soon.
Come
Cheers,
on,
pal.
man.
Come
Nice
on.
one, mate. Take
Come
care.
on. Faz Radford says the last time we lost at Villa Park was January
There you go.
2008.
There you go. Yeah.
2008?
Yeah.
Bloody hell. It's a long time ago. We have a very good record there.
Yeah, I was looking at this last night, and yeah, it's a ridiculous run in terms of Spurs at Villa Park in terms of getting points. Yeah, they've not done very well against us at their own home ground.
And Mark says Potter hasn't lost in 6 against Arsenal. He lost
Wow.
against them as Osterson's manager. Apparently.
Yes, that would have been
Wow,
in
and
the
they beat,
Europa.
and they won the second
And then
leg
they
as
won the
well.
second leg,
Yeah,
that's
so
right,
wow,
yeah.
that's very
Yeah.
impressive of Potter.
With Ostersons, it's amazing.
Incredible. All right, last but not least, let's bring on.
The Iceman.
I like that name even more. The Joracle. How are we doing, Jory? He's got his shades on. Look at that. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, it's very sunny in Reykjavik now. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, you're looking like you're having a great time out there,
Yeah.
Jory. Looking like you're on top of the world. How are we doing? Eyes on. Are you driving?
I'm driving a little bit. I'll pull in here.
You're going to
and
get
have
some.
a
You
talk
know,
with you
look,
guys.
the chat is ruthless, Jory. They're going to be on to you. Don't you
Yeah.
worry about that.
Yeah.
I'm pulling in here.
To be honest,
Don't worry, guys.
with those aviator shades, it shouldn't be a car you should be in control. It should be a jet fighter. You know, talk to me, Goose.
Well, the way I drive sometimes, it's more like that. So yeah.
Mark in the chat says the Terminator's entered the building. The Jorinator.
No,
Love it.
I just wanted to call in because last time I called in that was last Friday, right? And that weekend went pretty well, I think. So
You could say that again.
I think I need to keep this up now and not change the mojo for this weekend. So yeah, I'm not gonna keep you long, guys, but I just wanted to say, like, for me, what I'm seeing so clearly on the pitch, and I've been watching all the training videos and stuff like that, and I really see Conte seeping into all the players, especially maybe even Kane. You know, I really see Kane has never been a selfish superstar. But I kind of feel like we're seeing new levels of kind of unselfishness from him, both in terms of play and also in terms of his involvement with the new players like Kulusevski. The way he was so happy when Emerson scored and stuff like that, you know. And I really feel like the Conte factor is really springing, you know, like going full force now. And to your point with the two guys that are on loan now, Lo Celso and Ndombele, I don't think Conte will even entertain the idea of bringing them back into his little sacred sanctum now. You know, I think we need to get them out right away and hopefully get some good money out of them. But that's almost well, it's not almost. It's a complete secondary thing. I think what we can get out, the most important thing is to continue this, what we're seeing now, you know. And like, we've known this for a long time. Like, we've been defeated so many times by our own head, you know. And now when you look at what's going on the pitch, it's like they have answers. They like the problems we saw so often in the past where they didn't have answers for what to do next. You know, oh, this situation is now. What do I do? Where am I supposed to be, and so on. That nobody, not even what we considered our weakest players, are now in doubt. Really, they are very confident, very sure of what to do next and how to do it. So I think we're in for a good one this weekend. I watched the Arsenal Aston Villa game, and I was actually kind of shocked at the tactics there. I thought like, if this is what Gerrard thinks is a good plan, then I'm afraid he's completely overrated. Of course, maybe it was a question that they weren't doing what he was asking to, but I thought it was some of the worst, worst managerial performance of the season. One of the worst, I thought, really.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I thought Arsenal were not good at all, but they kind of cruised past it simply because of how they laid up. You know, it was a lot of like kick and rush stuff and no precision in any of their long balls. And I don't know what he was thinking there. So I'm hoping that he'll come as ill prepared for our game as that seemed, or the players were maybe not up for it, and hopefully they won't be up for it now as well. But I really think like the way out, I think the Conte machine has kicked in. I think we're on the other side. Like I've said this before, and you always have a little bit of a doubt because we've been we've been bamboozled before, but I'm seeing a lot more evidence now than I've ever seen that's the reality of it. And I think there's the consistency is coming not only from a mentality thing, not only that they have the heart and the bravery, but it's also just coming from like Doherty. He has gotten an education in how to play. He now has a degree in how to be that Conte wingback. He understands it now. Before he could have had the best attitude in the world. He didn't understand the mechanics of it. He didn't understand the calculations of it. Now he can read it like Conte wants him to read it, and react like Conte wants him to react. The same with Ben Davies. All of these players, which we were always so worried about, we feel a lot more confident. One thing I think maybe we might see this game is actually, I think we might see Lloris have a quite good game. I think he probably made us a little bit of a special project. Lloris has been really our least confident player at late, and been maybe our most shaky player, which is not saying much. It's not like it's a huge thing, but that just says how solid we are right now in this moment, So
he's not really been employed very much. He's not had a huge amount to do other than the Man United game.
Yeah,
exactly, and that makes it even more difficult. He's almost just taking a nap between set pieces, and it's the set pieces, of course, that we're scared of. I think we'll see more discipline. I don't think we'll see a Sonny mistake like we did last game. I think like all of these tiny little things that weren't A+ in that game, they'll be better this game. So yeah, I think Kyle is pretty spot on. I think maybe I'll be a little bit more conservative than them, and I'll go for 4-0.
And only Davis and Doherty to score, not Dyer.
Absolutely. None of the strikers, just the wing backs.
I'm kind of I need a Kane goal by now, but I don't mind getting a lot of defenders scoring. I love that as well. It would be great to see Romero put one in. How about a Bentancur long shot? That
wouldn't mind one of those.
There is one question. There is one question. I think it's right that Jory answers it. There's been discussion in the Spurs fan base, so I'm going to ask you the question, and I want just a yes or no answer, Jory.
All right.
Can Kane win the Golden Boot this season?
Yes.
Beautiful. Let's the confidence.
Brilliant.
He's only 8 behind. Why not? Let's do it.
Now, I mean, I think we've all looked at Kane as almost superhuman, as a Superman, and I'm like, and you all of your fans know that I've had my word over Kane and stuff, but I the way I see Kane now, like we haven't even sniffed at his upper levels. I think if that partnership between Kane and Conte continues 1 or 2 seasons more, we're gonna see something completely historic. I mean, Kane is a historic generational player anyway, but we're gonna see something like unbelievable. That's my feeling, and like I feel Kane is so like, not that you ever talk about Kane that he's not focused or whatever. Of course, maybe at the start of the season he wasn't feeling it, but like it's Kane times 10 now. It's Kane to the 10th degree that we're at the beginning of that, I think now. So yeah, I think he can definitely. I think we got a couple of hat tricks coming up, and then he's right. Then he's on a good roll. Then and Kane, he will be going for it as well.
Yeah,
That
absolutely.
He won't count himself out at this point. He'll say,
absolutely,
yeah, it's going good. I'm getting good service. Okay, let's go get that boot.
Superb.
Yeah, that. Jory, thanks for
Take
coming
care,
on, my
guys.
man. Good to see you.
Pleasure, mate.
And
all
we'll
right,
speak
have
to
a
you very
great
soon,
weekend,
man.
guys.
You too.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on. All right, and I think that is it for today's stream. We're going to have the predicted lineup, and we're going to have a Tottenham update out for you guys as well. So stay tuned for that. Thank you, Rez from Shelfside Sports, for joining me for the stream today. Absolute pleasure having you on.
Thank you very much. Thank you for
viewers
having
have
me.
enjoyed your contributions a lot. So
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
So please come on more. But yeah, we'll have those videos for you out a bit later on. But thank you for joining us today. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.